So apparently Amazon coders say they've had to work harder and faster by using AI. That surprises me. Amazon has always been like a bastion of great working conditions. We all know that. Software engineers at Amazon say artificial intelligence is transforming their work. Of course, it's transforming everyone's work, everyone who's doing knowledge work, not by replacing them, by pressuring them to code faster, meet higher output targets, and rely more heavily on tools they don't fully control. Okay, we'll read further. So the shift has sparked growing concerns that AI is turning once thought for work into an assembly line job. This isn't too surprising. This is what Amazon likes to do. With some employees comparing it to the automation wave that reshaped Amazon's warehouses. And if you've seen that stuff is crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, I do Amazon next day delivery, so I am the start of a chain of stressing out some poor Amazon worker, I admit it. But yeah, if I had to write code in the same way that some people are doing like their warehouse jobs, I would probably be so stressed out. Like you're meeting a quota of like, I don't know how many number of lines is fair, but that's essentially what it is. Amazon warehouse workers are essentially having to do X number of packages per hour or per day per shift, and if they don't meet that, you have to have a really, really good reason, or you're probably just going to get fired, or you're probably going to have a heart attack or something. Now, with code, this is stupid, because just because you write more code doesn't mean you're a better developer creating better things, In fact, you might be more valuable if you're getting rid of code. So my team is roughly half the size it was last year, so literally decreased the team size by half. Yeah, I bet you they're still doing the same amount of work, as in the product and the output probably is still the same as it was a year ago. But we expect to produce the same amount of code. There you go, thanks to AI. Why is he working from his laptop? There's a keyboard there, bro. Like, this is just stressful. So engineers who spoke to the Times describe a culture where AI adoption is technically optional, but failing to use it risks falling behind. So yeah, it's optional in the sense that they don't have to use it, but you're still expected to produce 1,000 lines of code a day, which you can't really write. Let's be real. Even if you're like the fastest typer in the world, because it's not all about typing, it's about thinking as well. Feedback sessions are cut short, and developers are being pushed to let AI not just suggest lines of code, but write entire programs. That doesn't surprise me. It's more fun to write code than to read code. True, said longtime programmer. Yeah. When you're working with these tools, I do feel like, look, I get AI is great. I get the use of it, but it has kind of killed the fun of coding, because it used to just be like, you'd sit there, maybe having a coffee and just get to think and write lines of code. Now it's just kind of, you write a prompt, you copy and paste the crappy code into the wherever, and then you push it to GitHub, and then someone copies and pastes that code that you've pushed to GitHub, and they put it into an AI and say, review this code, be super hypercritical, and then they write the feedback, and then you take that and then you basically just fix it using AI. That's pretty much the process now. In a recent letter to shareholders, has anyone read I've actually never read them, but I've got it saved. The Jeff Bezos shareholder letters supposedly really good. There's a whole bunch of them. CEO and Yassi call generative AI a tool for productivity and cost avoidance. If we don't get our customers what they want as quickly as possible, our competitors will. The company has also encouraged employees to develop new internal AI tools at hackathons, and says, I wish some of this stuff was more public. I know there was this was ages ago, Facebook hackathon. It's a fun video though. Oh, my keyboard is in the wrong place. I think this is what it is. But yeah, it's quite a fun video. I'd go recommend watching it. It's just a bunch of like interns, I think, basically showing what they've built. This is years ago as well, before sort of ChatGPT and company. Still, 3 engineers currently told the Times that deadlines have become less forgiving and that output expectations have quietly surged. One said AI is increasingly used to write memos. Yeah, I mean, that I can imagine, and test software. It's good for testing software, actually. That's one of the few things that I think it is genuinely really good at, because it can understand the code instantaneously and basically write test software for it. But yeah, they were once. This is the other issue with AI. Maybe like if you're expecting to constantly output more and more, people aren't actually learning anymore, because they don't have time to learn. They're just focused on the output. This is what happens when you make it just a assembly line. You're just trying to get something working as quickly as possible. You don't even have time to learn and understand what it is you're doing. No one has time to understand anything anymore. The worry is that in automating such work, engineers may lose vital skills. Yeah. So, Amazon spokesman Brad Glasser told the Post an AI is intended to augment engineers' expertise, not replace it. Yeah, I think Zuckerberg said that as well. It's sort of like this idea. Don't get me wrong, we can already see that half of the jobs have been taken. So people are definitely going to lose jobs, but not everyone. It's just that one person. I don't know, let's say an employee at Apple makes Apple $1 million a year. Now they might, maybe the return on investment for an employee now is 5 million, you know? Who knows? So the shift has ignited broader unease inside Amazon. A group called Amazon Employees for Climate Justice has become a sounding board for workers' concerns, including AI's impact. The complaints I have heard about. I know that, using like ChatGPT just quickly instead of a Google search is like 30% more energy inefficient, uses 30 times more energy. So that's fair enough, I guess. But they will get better, I imagine. The complaints have centered around what their careers are going to look like, and not just their careers. Let's see some of the comments. So, keep up, adapt, and refocus. AI is here. Many jobs will be affected. Stop supporting mass money. That took a random turn, didn't it? Why don't the coders sink the company? Well, no, because there's always going to be another coder to take the job. It just doesn't work like that. The employment pool is too big. People have bills to pay. Obama's suggestion for laid off workers to learn to code. Anyone who was like saying learn to code is basically just like, yeah, wrong. AI is really just tooling with the kid, making him work faster. Anyway, today is going to be a shorter video, I guess. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, as always, leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.